So welcome back to the Dharma Life Podcast. I'm your host, Aloise.life, and today we are talking about how to find and follow your spiritual purpose and how not to miss out. In this episode, you will learn why following your spiritual purpose is the key thing you should be doing right now, how it will create the most incredible life that you've only ever dreamed of, how following your spiritual purpose will create such a secure connection to the divine that even with all the chaos and madness that is happening on this planet, that is probably going to get worse before it gets better, you will feel safe, secure, and centered. And how, by doing your spiritual work, you are being the change you wish to see in the world, and you are being a change maker, and you are showing up for your planet. So welcome back. I wanted to do this podcast because the Dharma Life Podcast is called the Dharma Life Podcast because it's all about you creating your perfect Dharmic life, following the path of right action and really leaning into your spiritual purpose. And this was the original reason I started this podcast, was because I saw lots and lots of friends of mine in the Transformational leadership organization that I ran who had created incredible lives, doing things that they loved. And I wanted that in my life. And at that point in my life, yes, I was running this organization, but I knew that there was more to come for my purpose. And by taking my path and creating the life I always dreamed of, I want to speed up your journeys. This is available for every single person. Every single person has a path and purpose, and every single person can follow the righteous path and do their Dharma. So if you're someone who's working in a job, working in a corporate, somebody who's unsatisfied and dissatisfied with your life and it doesn't look quite the way you want it to, this is the podcast for you. I'm going to be giving you tips and tricks on how you can really commit to your spiritual purpose and how you can create the life you've only ever dreamed of. So I want to share with you a little bit about my story. For a long time, I didn't listen to my guidance. We all have guidance, but we haven't been taught how to tune into it. So I was working in recruitment. I was earning very good money. And a lot of my identity was tied up with basically being a director and earning good money. And I really wanted to leave. I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. And I was being called up to do something more, probably like many of you are now. But I was scared. I was fearful and I was scared and I didn't know what to do or how to do it. I didn't really know have anybody I could ask. You know, now you guys have got me, but at that point, I didn't really know. There was no rule book and there was no manual. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was determined and I am quite a determined person. So what happened for me is, for a long time, I ignored my guidance. I was in recruitment and I was running a recruitment business with a friend of mine. And really, my heart wasn't totally in it. I liked the idea of being a business owner. I liked the idea of having my own business. I liked the status of running a business of women all online. And I liked the money, but I wasn't truly fulfilled by the work. And I can tell you, if you're not truly fulfilled by what you are doing, then you're out of alignment with your Dharmic path. And that nagging feeling you get every single day when you go to work is telling you something. That is your inner sat nav. So I didn't listen to my inner sat nav, and this is what happened. Basically, I ended up having a very messy business partnership split with the lady I was in business with. And it was messy. It was 6 months. It was not very nice. There were lawyers involved. It was just a bit ugly. And I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I wouldn't want to have to go through that again. And at the end of it, although it was distressing, I felt lighter and I felt freer. And I knew that actually it had done me a favor. And as much as it was difficult and my ego was bruised and my pride was bruised that this thing had fallen apart, I was relieved and I was thankful. And often you find that people experience burnout, or they get made redundant. And that's the universe saying you're going the wrong direction. So in my case, at that point, I decided I was just going to be true to myself, and I was going to start to ask for guidance, and I wasn't going to do anything that I didn't really want to do. So that's what I did. I started to ask for guidance, and I started to ask for support from my guides. I was quite spiritual, but I hadn't developed the strength of connection that I've got now. And my husband and I went on holiday, and we went on holiday to Ibiza, and we got this villa. And this was obviously before everything. You could travel, no problem. And I remember picking up this crappy magazine on the plane. It was one of the free ones they give you, like Now or Chat or something. And inside was a woman telling her story about how she transformed her life and how she made it into her purpose, and how everything she'd gone through was worthwhile because she was now helping other women with what had happened. It was very inspiring to me to read her story. And so I decided to ask her if she would come on my podcast. And when I say on my podcast, I didn't actually have a podcast at that stage. That was another idea that the universe gave me. Every day when I walk my dogs, I used to get this idea. Lewis Howes was quite big at the time, and he'd done so well with his podcast. And I just thought, it's just me. It's something I'm really good at, talking and communicating. Now, this is the secret key to your Dharma: finding things that are you're passionate about, but also you're uniquely gifted and talented in. Now, I kept on getting this download. Oh, I should start a podcast. I had no clue how to start a podcast. I had no idea how to go about it, but I figured it out. So I started interviewing people who were doing their Dharma, who were fulfilling their purpose. And I basically did that for about 3 months, including this lady that I found the magazine. I felt like that was a sign from the universe. And I knew instinctively that I needed to write a Find and Follow Your Purpose course. It just becomes clear. And this is the other thing you guys will find when you have the courage to do your Dharma and take the action. Clarity comes through engagement, not thought. So I then set about writing a Find and Follow Your Purpose course. And then, would you believe, as I was kind of starting to write this program, a very good friend of mine connected me to another friend of mine, a friend of theirs. And basically, this gentleman was a chap called Chris Atwood, and he was taking on a group of students to study the concept of Dharma. And it was about purpose, and it was about everything I was really interested in, and it just seemed really aligned. Now, this is what starts to happen if you have the courage to go after what it is that you want and take action. So this chat popped up, and I thought, I really need to take this, be his program and learn about Dharma. And it was like all the lights went on. It was like everything fell into place, and I saw the world in a different way. And I knew that this is what I was here to do, to inspire others. So long story short, I created a program. I then created a community. I then created the Dharma Life Academy. And from there, everything has evolved. And then what I've also seen is my work. First of all, I was creating a Dharma program. And then I started to create these other programs. These were just ideas that I was getting from the universe, but I was listening and I was putting them into action. And what has unfolded is my spiritual purpose. And the signs and synchronicities that have come have been incredible. The people that have showed up have been amazing. And I'm so pleased that I didn't bottle it. So that's kind of one of my messages to you is often we can get trapped in our fear. And it's a lonely place to be, and it's a scary place to be. But I can tell you it's all in your head. And actually, when you live in the moment, when you live in the now, everything is okay and everything is figure outable. You will find through engaging yourself that the clarity will come. And literally, this journey that I'm describing to you is maybe 4 or 5 years. And then obviously I've gone on to study the Akashic Records, and that came to me at the right time, at the right place. So everything has unfolded and unveiled itself to me because I've had the courage to take the action. So this is what I don't want you guys to miss out on, because it is the most incredible journey. And of course, from there, I got connected and aligned to the lovely Josh and Michelle. And now we're doing the Virtues program, and that's going to lead into doing lots more spiritual programs. So this is what happens when you have the courage to take the action, when you have the courage to follow your true destiny and your inner voice. So for any of you out there on the fence, maybe you're in this job that you really truly hate, what you need to do doing is designing what you want your life to look like moving forward. And by doing that, like I knew, for example, I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to be empowering, inspiring people. And I knew at that stage I needed to be a coach. I thought that was something that came quite naturally to me. And of course, that's where I started. I started off by coaching. So trust yourself, trust your intuition. You will be able to create the most incredible life. Like now, I get to get up in the morning, do my meditation, have a cup of tea, do my meditation, go in our yoga barn. And that was a vision for me at one stage, go in the yoga barn, do some yoga. Do some meditation first of all, take my dogs for a walk, come back, do some yoga. I work when I want and how I want. And because of the benefit of the Akashic records, I've managed to undo all of the blocks that I had around financial success. And now everything is working. And now my job is to help you guys do the same. And it is the most incredible journey you will ever, ever take. And I have to be honest, I think the key thing for me now is we're in this weird and wonderful time on the planet. Life is getting weirder and weirder and more wonderful. And without this sense of connection that I've developed, it would be easy to go into fear. It would be easy to slip into, oh my God, what's going to happen? And I don't know quite how the world's going to transpire. And what's it like bringing up kids? And like, your mind can play tricks on you. When you are spiritually connected and when you are spiritually guided, you know that you are creating and manifesting your reality. I know that I'm a powerful human creator. And yes, all this stuff may be going on in the world, but I know what I'm creating. And the next level of what I'm creating is going to be some type of community with land, with an educational training system. That's my kind of longer term vision. And I know that the universe will support that because I know I'm living virtuously and I'm manifesting, creating my reality. Now, the more you find and follow your spiritual purpose, the more you will transcend your karma, the more you will open your energy centers, the more you will lean in to being the sovereign human being that you are, and the less fear you will have. So, you beautiful beings, I want to know in the comments where you're at in your journey. Do you feel that you're guided? Do you feel that you are supported? Because really, the best piece of advice that I can give you is trust in yourself and your guidance. Start to ask for support, start to ask questions, start to ask your guides. Top tip, as you go to sleep at night, if there's something you're wanting to know, like what is the next step for you, ask your guides in before you go to bed. 9 times out of 10, I will wake up with the answer in my head. And often, if I'm going through something or I'm struggling, I wake up with words in my head. It's quite amazing. So you will be guided and you will be supported. And the other thing I'd like to say is obviously money is a very big factor for people because they think I'm not going to have the abundance that I had in my kind of classic safe job. I would say that your abundance will be threefold doing your Dharma, especially once we clear any karmic blocks around finances or money that you have. And you guys can come and see me for that. I do sessions on that. But you will not only attract abundance into your life because you are in a higher vibrational state, it will be so effortless because you are aligned with your being and who you are at soul level. And it won't feel like work. Everything I do now is fun. Doing an Akashic Record session with somebody, having someone in the Dharma Life Academy, all of this stuff to me doesn't feel like work. I remember dreaming back in the day, I just wanted to be doing what I'm doing now. And I remember dreaming about running sessions and running teaching workshops and stuff like that. And of course, that's what my life looks like now. And it doesn't feel like work, it's fun. And that is the other secret key to life. Now, by doing your spiritual purpose and doing your spiritual work, you're also being the change you wish to see in the world. And we need you. We really need you to go on this path. We really need you to do this because what you're doing is you're raising your vibration and you're putting out positive energy into the world. And of course, that is creating ripple effects into and onto the planet. Now, in the Dharma Life Academy, we take you through a process of how to do this with support and speed up your journey. I think I said I had one lady who's been with us 5 months and she's literally whizzed through her spiritual development process, and she knows what she's doing, and she started her own business. And that's going from a place of being lost, stuck, and traumatized, actually. So the support is out there. If you want it, come and find me. We can support you. We're opening the Dharma Life Academy in September. But I would really say to you, all of you listening, time to see through fear. Fear is an illusion. It's something we buy into that's not real. Following your spiritual purpose and your spiritual path is the most rewarding journey you will ever take. So any questions, let me know in the comments. Where are you stuck? What is it that's causing you stress or strain? I think just speaking a little bit more to the finance issue, I'd always recommend that people transition out of one thing and into another. You can't create from lack. You can't create from scarcity. So if you're worried about money, it's more difficult to manifest. So I always suggest to people that what they do is they edge themselves or ease themselves from one career to another. So build up your side hustle while you're working in your job. In your job, you go down to 3 days a week, you build up your side hustle, and then it takes over for you. And the other thing I would also suggest is to focus on abundance. Because when we have the courage to do our Dharma, to follow our highest excitement, we attract the abundance that we need. It comes to us. And you have to remember that abundance doesn't necessarily come in one way. We often think, like, I want to earn a certain amount of money before I leave my job. Now, if you are finding and following your purpose, if you are following your highest excitement, you will attract the abundance that you need, but it may not come in the shape or form that you think it should. You might find that your partner, like for me at the time before I got into the Akashic Record stuff, my business wasn't making any money. I'll be very honest with you, because I had all these past life blocks. And my partner was very supportive. And obviously we want to earn our own money, but if you have got a partner like that, then you just have to be grateful. And that is abundance. You are being supported, even if it doesn't necessarily classically look the way you want it to. You must open your awareness to see that abundance is there to support you, and you aligned with that so that you may step into your spiritual purpose. So key thing to do is to open your mind and realize that abundance doesn't just come in one shape or form. It doesn't just necessarily come in your own bank account. You might be supported in other ways, and that's okay, because it's a progress. It's a stepping stone. It will get you to where you need to be. So you beautiful beings, don't miss out. Now is the time to be doing this work. Now is the time to be finding and following your purpose. It is the most incredible journey you will ever take. It ranges from seeing numbers to the right people turning up, to opening the page at the right book, to literally being guided in every single shape or form. And it is just incredible what you see and what you see when you seek. So I'd love to hear in the comments. Please push follow, subscribe if you're not subscribing to this channel. I release videos every few days. And I would love to support you in doing your Dharma and basically aligning from your 3D purpose to your 5D purpose and building a life in alignment with your soul. So let me know in the comments what's going on for you. Are you doing that? Are you stuck? Do you need support? Let me know in the comments. I'll answer the comments and I'll give you as much support as I possibly can. Thank you so much for listening to the Dharma Life podcast. I do hope you enjoyed this episode. Please come over and say hello on my Instagram, our Facebook group, and also please let me know what you thought. So if you are listening, please take a screenshot of the podcast that you are listening to. Tag me on Instagram and I will reshare your post, and please let me know what it is that you got out of today's episode. Remember, when we do our Dharma, we are happier, healthier, we live longer, and we have a deep sense of unshakable inner peace.